Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2005 here in the Idaho Vandals Dynasty, and we are in the throes of year number 7. Year number 7, I think. Yeah, I think it's year number 7. I think this series is like 2 seasons behind Alabama. I always forget it. But either way, we are continuing with some Pac-10 play against the 1-6 Oregon Ducks. One of the weirdest things about the Oregon Ducks in these older games is that they always seem to have, or just be bad. Not very good. I mean, historically, Oregon hasn't been all that great. I think we really get kind of inflated with the Chip Kelly stuff in the late 2000s and early 2010s, and what Oregon is, of course, now with Dan Lanning and such. But I think historically, Oregon's never really been like that great. You know what I mean? At least like not elite. They've had great seasons or good seasons in between. But either way, we're going to talk about the virtual version of Oregon, which is not good in this game. They are 1-6, and they were not very good last year either. They went 4-7 last year. However, all 4 of those wins did come in conference, which got them 5th in the Pac-10, which placed them pretty well. It placed them above Cal, who went 6-6 and actually made it to a bowl game. So, funnily enough. But that, of course, does not include a victory over us, because we beat Oregon last year, 28-17 back in Moscow, which evens our series in the Todd Lynch era, as we lost to Oregon, of course, in year number 1. If you can even remember that far back, Oregon was one of our out-of-conference games, and we lost that game closely, might I add. That was the worst Idaho team we had in the series. They won a single game, but they almost beat Oregon back then, so almost don't really get the job done. But we're going to see here if we can grab at least another easy win over a 1-6 Oregon, back in the top 25 again. For some reason, we know what happens whenever we bounce back up into the top 25, as Oregon is already moving on offense, but their quarterback, Mario Boone, is unable to get that pass completed, and so that's going to bring up a big decision for Oregon. They're going to get the offense on the field for a 4th and 6. Boone, back to pass here, rolls out to the right. He's going to dump this one across the middle, and it's going to be caught, and there's a lot of open space in front of him to not just get the first down, but get plenty more on top of that. So it looked like it might have been John Garcia, the sophomore tight end, who made that catch to extend Oregon's drive. But either way, we're going to get another look at it here, and we might be able to see a little bit clearer here. So the compression here on the video, the PS2's graphics, you know what I mean, all that, it's hard to see. Again, more reason why I should emulate, but I'm holding firm here to my belief of OG hardware. So we'll see how long that lasts. But Oregon once again here in a short yardage situation, struggling to get to the sticks, and this time they're just simply going to take the field goal, take the 3 points if they can get it, and they do. So Oregon is going to take a 3-0 lead over Idaho here early on in this first quarter after chewing off a lot of time off the clock here. A nice long opening drive. So 1st and 10 here for Idaho, and Chester, with pressure in his face, dumps it off quickly here, and now it's a foot race off to the end zone, leading a caravan of Ducks to the end zone. Is anyone going to catch them? And absolutely not. Nobody is, and that is an Idaho touchdown, ladies and germs. One play is all it's going to take from scrimmage, and Idaho has already not just answered back to Oregon, but they have taken the lead. And if you can believe it, man, that is Bam Blanks, the tight end, who was leading that caravan. Mr. Bam Blanks with a foot race here to get his 4th touchdown of the season. So Oregon back on offense around midfield here. Boone going to fake the handoff, take a shot down the sideline, and that pass is going to be caught along the sideline, toe dragging, and it's Darryl Cooper, one of the top receivers here for Oregon in his junior season, and he gets a nice little reception here from Boone and gets pushed out of bounds well inside the red zone here. So we'll get another look here. That was a beautiful pass, man. Just quick release here. Cooper had a lot of separation from the DB, so good on Oregon. So on 3rd and 1 now, trying to punch it into the end zone, and it's going to be the running back, Dwayne Swift, for Oregon here, who's having himself a career season. He's already matched last year's total of just a little over 500 yards. He's already got that heading into this game, and now he just earned himself his 4th touchdown of the game, or the season. Not the game, of the season. So 10-7 is now your score, but back on offense. And again, Chester with these big plays, and I believe it's going to be Trey Mosley, who's got a nice little step here, but he cannot win the foot race. Somehow Bam Blanks can at tight end, but not one of our receivers, and he's going to get caught up from behind. But still, we're going to be set up offensively in a good position. So, but cut to 3rd and 18 after some negative plays. Got to move in the other direction if at all possible. Chester back to pass, fires one to the end zone, and that pass is caught toe tapping by the back end zone chalk, and it's going to be good for a touchdown. So backs against the wall here, final opportunity here, and no doubt Lynch probably would have kept the offense on the field for a fourth down, but either way, Trey Mosley's going to get himself his 5th touchdown of the season. A beautiful pass from Chester. So 14-10 is now your score after 1 quarter of play. Now back on offense on a 3rd and inches close to midfield, and Chester tries to flip that one down the middle of the field, and DeAndre Poole, the backup tight end, who we've already had some disciplinary issues with earlier in the year, is now injured in this game, so not a great look for him. Not a great look. I mean, it's really going bad. So Oregon now with the football on a 3rd and 1. They're going to go with Swift, who's got some room on the outside edge here. He's going to get across the 40 and inside the 35 before he's going to be brought out of bounds. And it's a huge pickup for Swift, and we got to watch out for him. He might be a weapon that we're going to have to put a little bit more eyes on here. We can't just ignore it anymore and be passive about him. He might be someone that we have to be a much more alert of here, as Oregon's not really a super effective throwing team. Their quarterback doesn't have the greatest split throughout his career, but it's still something we're going to have to look for. So, again, in short yardage here, they're going to go right back to Swift to try and pick up the first down, and it's very much close, but I don't know if he got there. And so, on a 4th down, Oregon's just going to send out the kicking team and just try and even up the game a little bit here, get within 1 point if at all possible late in the first half, and they do. So 13-14 is going to be your score here with just 1:30 or so left to go in the first half. So still plenty of time, but nothing else would happen in the first half, because we couldn't do anything with the football, and so 14-13 is your score, and absolutely nothing would happen in the 3rd quarter, if you can believe it, man. You see the runtime. Everything else that's going to happen is in the 4th quarter of this game. Nothing happened in the 3rd quarter. No offense to speak of whatsoever. So Chester hands this one off to Keith Bridges with some fancy spin moves to get a first down, and Keith Bridges, man, I'm going to eat some crow in Keith Bridges, man. When I was looking over the stats here, Keith Bridges is on route or on a path to have a career season himself in his final season as a Vandals. So I've been talking a lot of smack about him, but he's definitely been putting in the work this year, so we'll give it to him, man. And Doug Nolan now putting in the work, man. Receiver number 4 on the depth chart, Doug Nolan, getting involved here with a nice quick little route, and he's going to pick up a first down and continue the Vandals drive. So he's doing his part. So 2nd and 7 now for the Idaho offense here, just outside the 10-yard line, but Chester's going to fire this one to the end zone. And that pass is going to be caught by, I believe, Trey Mosley once again, getting touchdown number 5, number 6. Did he score earlier? I've already forgotten. But or actually, no, excuse me. It was Matthews. It was actually Andy Matthews, the sophomore, who gets the touchdown. That's his 3rd touchdown of the season. So everyone, we're kind of spreading it around. And Boone here is going to try and spread it around if he can, and takes an absolute moonshot of a ball here. Sends that one down at the sideline. And it's going to be John Abrams, Oregon's top receiver here, who's on path to have himself another career season, another 800-plus yard season. He's already over 400 entering this game, and that's going to be a huge chunk for him, even though we haven't called his name much in this game. So on a 3rd and 10 now, Boone's got to get something going here in offense, and he does, as he finds an open receiver across the middle of the field, and that is going to be to Lamar Calhoun, I think, number 10 for Oregon. He's a senior, and he's kind of hasn't developed, I guess, maybe how Oregon would have thought. He's still pretty low overall-wise, but Oregon going to go with the ground game here, and it's not going to go anywhere. So 4th and 3 for the Ducks offense. Got to get into the end zone if at all possible, and they're going to do it, man. So these huge late in the drive, 3rd and 4th down screw-ups on defense are really hurting us right now, as Oregon has been able to convert on a lot of these and keep their drives alive exactly when we need them to get off the field. So And yeah, that's a huge touchdown for Oregon. We'll get another angle at it once again. And yeah, there you go. Easy one. So Oregon going to keep the offense on the field for a 2-point conversion, try and tie up the game. They're going to pitch it off to Swift, and that's going absolutely nowhere, as we had about 3 or 4 different Vandals in the backfield, well prepared for that 2-point attempt. So that is going to leave things at a 2-point deficit, 21-19, just under 2 minutes. There's plenty of time for us to kill clock and potentially win this game here. And that was a huge, huge boost from Ross Chester, as that should potentially ice the game here. Oregon still has all their timeouts, so we're going to have to continue moving the football. But now in Oregon territory, we have all the cards on our side, basically. And so we're going to hand this one off to Stuart Malone, the fullback, and he's going to pick up another first down. And so now we should be able to at least kill the rest of Oregon's timeouts here. But now down to a minute on 3rd and goal. Got to get into the end zone if at all possible. And Chester's pass is incomplete. It is batted down. So running the football not an option here, or I guess Maybe it wasn't. It looks like Lynch probably just wanted to go for the dagger here, wanted to try and win it on offense with a touchdown if at all possible. But still, I think the option there, probably the better option probably would have been to run the football, even if you weren't going to get into the end zone, at least keep the clock running, and then maybe try and walk things off here with this field goal. But the kick is up, and the kick is going to be good here. And so, but it doesn't really do much for us. It's only 24-19. You might as well have just kept the offense on for a 4th and goal if you really wanted to. So, questionable decisions here by Lynch here in Autzen, as now Oregon's got 42 seconds to drive down the field and potentially answer back to us. And if they score a touchdown, that's going to be the lead. So on a 3rd down, they don't get it. So on 4th and 4, they're going to run with tempo. They don't have any time to spike or anything. And Boone gets rid of it quickly here, and now it's going to be a foot race. We got one man in pursuit here. Can he make the tackle? And he stumbles and he can't make it. And it's going to be a touchdown for Oregon. And with 24 seconds remaining on the clock, a 72-yard pass is going to give Oregon the lead. And just like that, man, the questionable clock management immediately comes to bite Idaho in the back here as Boone is able to get this pass off, and it's going to be to Oregon's top man, John Abrams, man, who gets his 8th touchdown of the season, and it might have just been the walk-off touchdown to end this game for Idaho, man. Man, that's brutal. That's absolutely brutal to see. And I mean, Eli Weiss was in pursuit here. I don't know what that attempt was from him, but Oregon's going to try and go for the 2-point conversion, maybe at least make it a 3-point game in the event that we get downfield, but the conversion fails again. So both 2-point attempts from Oregon are no good, but now with only 24 seconds to get within field goal range at the least, 22 after the kickoff. So 1st and 10 here. Chester back to pass, rolls out, pressure's on, and he dumps it off, and that pass is broken up. It cannot be held onto, but either way it would have gotten us maybe to the 1st down sticks. I don't even know if it would have stopped the clock. We might have still had to race up back to the line. So 2nd and 10, 18 seconds left to go. Autzen starting to get pretty loud here. Chester rolling around in the pocket, looking for something, dumps it downfield, and it's going to be batted around, and it almost intercepted, but somehow not. I guess Oregon's DB was not paying attention, but that pass was almost intercepted, and so now we're basically in the Hail Mary territory. Rochester has to try and just get it downfield, heave it downfield, and we should still have timeouts to stop the clock and maybe send out the field goal team, but 4 seconds, 3, and that pass is batted down again. So now with 3 seconds, this next attempt is going to have to either be a touchdown. I mean, there's no other option. It's got to be a touchdown. We will not have enough time to run another play. So on 4th and 10, last opportunity, Chester back to pass. Takes all of his time, dumps one downfield. The pass is up in the air, and it's going to be picked off in quadruple coverage. Absolutely no chance, man. Absolutely no chance. That pass didn't have a shot, man. And we knew that. We figured as much. When you're playing desperation like that, that's the kind of stuff that happens. And yeah, so Idaho's going to grab another loss against the 1-6 Oregon Ducks. They're going to pull off the upset after poor management of the clock from Lynch, and just a heroic effort from the Oregon Ducks offense is going to give Oregon the win. It's going to give them the win. And I'm still aghast here. I'm still trying to find the words to describe my feelings towards this game here, because that is just an absolutely brutal way to lose this game, man. And this is one of those games where when we're looking through the rest of the season, I don't think this is the one that it really shouldn't have gotten away from you, man. It shouldn't have gotten away from you. I mean, we can look at a 0-3 Stanford loss, you know what I mean? But Stanford's probably still at least going to salvage somewhat of their season, you know? So like, they're not going to go 1-11 and us be their only win. So, but Oregon, man, they already coming into this game losing half of the games on their schedule. So I just don't imagine that this is a game that's going to age particularly well, much at all. Oregon only 4 for 14 on 3rd down, so they really weren't cooking as much on 3rd down as it felt like. But the 4th down conversion rate was just, they were 100%. I mean, we couldn't get them off the field on a 4th down. Can you believe that? I mean, 3rd down was no issue, but getting them off on a 4th down, couldn't do it, man. And Rochester with another bad game again here, over 300 yards. So I mean, bad. What's bad, right? But looking over his season stats, man, Rochester's actually having a pretty great year. I mean, that pick was only his 10th, and he did notch, a couple more touchdowns to get him well over 20. So it's an interesting season for Chester that we're having there for sure. And Roger Williams, by the way, was suspended for that game. I don't know why it didn't prompt me with anything before the Oregon game. He was just suspended. I have no idea why, but he wasn't in that game. So we stack up another loss against UCLA, which for sure now torpedoes our season. We're 3-4 in the Pac-10, 5-4 overall, and now we're heading into Arizona, who's probably got some Pac-10 championship hopes on their mind. So hopefully, man, on the road we can grab another win. I'm not very optimistic, but hope to see you guys back when we play the Wildcats of Arizona.